All right, it says we are live. You're on the Low Budget Livestream. If you're out there, definitely put some stuff in the chat. Let me know you're here. Because the setup I'm doing right now, I can't tell anything that's going on. Because I'm not using the YouTube setup. I'm using OBS, and I have windows open here and here, and I'm hoping I'm live. So if you guys can see me, definitely let me know. Because I'm not sure if I'm even live. So, let's see. Oh, there we go. I must be. Let's see. Let's pause that. Sorry, I'm still learning how to do this setup here. But anyway, this is a low budget live stream. Welcome. I wasn't even sure this was gonna happen today, um, but I was like, well, let's do it anyway. So I always know that if I just do it, I'll feel better. And I know there's not. I don't know how many's in watching right now. But I'm sure some people have some questions. Um, and you're probably wondering what my thought process was the last couple days. And, I'm sure the biggest question everyone's wanting to know is why did I why did I play the KFC game? No, I'm kidding. Though I will talk about that. I had to. I just had to. So yeah, if you're out there, welcome aboard. I can see Bill is here, Dennis is here, Desiree is here. Hello to you all. Again, if you're watching, I can't tell how many are watching now. I'm not sure where to see that on this setup. So, but I'm happy you guys are here tonight. I'm not sure how long I'll do this tonight because I'm not feeling the best. My stomach's been kind of iffy today. So we'll see how this goes. Zepser joins us. How you doing? I'm happy, so happy for you and your new man. I couldn't resist the Colonel. If you haven't watched my video about and I can never remember the name. It's so long. It's the KFC dating sim. I had to play it. I did. I couldn't resist, and I didn't know about it till today. But I we had a news story on it at the station today, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna look this up and just look at it just to see, if it costs anything. Because if it cost, I wasn't gonna buy it unless it was like dirt cheap. Turns out it was free on Steam, so I said I have no excuse. I have to play this, and I gotta say, it's dumb, but it's you can tell that they're both showing love for the genre and making fun of it at the same time. They're having a little fun with it because of all the weird stuff that happens. It was a longer video than I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, it was an interesting playthrough. I played it over my lunch hour, and yeah, it's interesting. It was I'd never really played dating sims before. I'd seen like Game Grumps and stuff play them, um, but yeah, I couldn't resist playing it, and I had a good silly time with it. And yes, my goal is to go after the Colonel. That was my goal, and I know you. I guess you could probably go after other people in it. I couldn't really see any other path but one. Apparently, there's multiple endings. I doubt I go through them to find out, but I had a good time playing it. I After my video the day before, I was like, I got the weirdest inspiration to have fun, and it was not the greatest game. And but that being said, you can tell they put some time and love into it, and how silly it is, and how funny some of the jokes are, and all that. So, but anyway, if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely check it out. Um, it's I have to apologize for the audio on it. I hadn't used XSplit in a long time, and the audio was a bit high on the game, but I think it turned out okay. Um, Desiree says was gonna see that vid in a bit, had it queued up. Looking forward to seeing you hit up your fried chicken daddy. It is the weirdest, one of the weirdest things I've ever seen because it's a lot of it's a commercial for KFC. Of course it is, but it's also, yeah, it it's definitely a real game. There's probably not as many choices as I think some people might expect from something like that. I was expecting maybe some more mini games. There were some quiz games, and there were what else was there? Uh, there was a couple, or like a turn-based battle. There would have been more had I made different decisions. um, but like the quiz game goes by so fast, I think you're supposed to lose, because the colonel is so strapping, and it's pretty funny. I had a good time playing it. Um, so if there's anything you guys want to talk about, definitely put it in the chat. You guys run the asylum, as you know, AMA rules, within reason, of course. um, if you guys want to talk about whatever, I'm a little behind on news and trailers and stuff, but definitely if you guys want to talk about something, let me know, and you guys will run the show. And sorry for the late start time. I wasn't even sure I was going to do it again. I said my stomach's feeling a little but then I couldn't get stuff. It didn't seem like it was going to work. This YouTube setup is not good. But anyway, unless I'm missing something. Let's see. Bill says, forget the banana splits. They should make a horror film about Fruit of the Loom guys. Yeah, those commercials were kind of creepy. I kind of like the banana splits movie. Excuse me. I know not a lot of people did, but then again, some did. I had a good time with it. I knew it was dumb, and the characters weren't very well developed, but I had a good time with it. But yeah, I still think it was supposed to be Five Nights at Freddy's. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Let's see. Desiree says, I actually play a lot of dating sims. If you want a serious one with a good story and excellent art, I recommend Hakuoki. I hope I'm saying it right. It's a demon samurai dating sim where you try to get close to the real life samurai group, the Shinsengumi. I'm hoping I say that right too. Not good with pronunciations. I don't know if I'd play a bunch of those. I don't know. It's not really for me, but I had a good time playing the one I did because there was so many tropes from other things. Probably not just dating sims. I mean, I make a reference to like Dragon Ball Z, playing the KFC sim because there's a part where it's totally Dragon Ball Z. If they showed your character, it would have been even better. But they keep it to where you don't know. Your character. They say they. It's not male or female or whatever. It's just you just play the game, and so they can't show your character. But it would have been funny if they could for one of the scenes, especially the one that kind of referenced Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, anyway, I don't have a ton to talk about tonight. I'm behind on everything. I will talk about that. And I'm going to forget the name of the movie, and I don't really care because it wasn't that good. There's a movie with Keira Knightley I saw that was based on a government, British government agent that exposed that the Iraq War was illegal. The movie was okay. I don't even really want to review it, and I probably won't. It was just really forgettable. But then Ad Astra, I have seen that, and after I saw it on Sunday, I just couldn't bring myself to work. So I'll eventually do a review for that. I mean, I'm sure some people are wondering what I thought about it, and I do have some thoughts on it, but I'm not really in any hurry. I might try working on it tomorrow. I've only got one movie this next weekend, which is Abominable. Abominable. I knew I was going to say that wrong. Abominable. But yeah, I have that this weekend. I'm watching, like, Friday and Saturday. I'm watching some fights, but I mean, I'll have time, especially Saturday. I don't have a ton going on, so I'll probably work on some stuff Saturday. Anyway, let's see what else I got going on. I wanted to start a new Gino's Bad at Games. I don't know if I will now, right away, because I don't know if I have enough time to finish it before a game is coming out that I pre-bought, and I want to play that right when it comes out for the channel. Um, so that's what I'm wanting to do with Gino's Bad at Games, and that's in like less than 2 weeks. So I don't know if I'd have time to finish another big game before that. I'll look into it. I don't know. I don't think I'd have enough time to finish the game I was going to play. But I might. I might have enough time. I don't know. I just don't know how long the game is. I've never played it. The one that I'm considering playing. But there's a game coming out in October, and they finally released the date. And if I think I have enough time to play another game before it, I will. But I just don't know if I'm going to. Let's see. Yeah, there's not much else going on the channel. I finished. I finally got around to watching Titans season 1, and I'm caught up on season 2, like the 3 episodes that are available. So I'll probably be doing something on that soon. And then I want to. I don't know if I'm gonna do. I want to do Voltron. I want to do the whole Voltron because since it's over, and I've been wanting to watch it, but yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get to any of this. There's so many things I want to do, and it's just like, what do I do first? But anyway, definitely again, if you guys got something you want to talk about, put it in the chat. Desiree says, Rip Chef Carl Ruiz and Sid Haig. Yeah, I heard about Sid Haig. Yeah, whenever I saw a bunch of, I follow the Days of the Dead convention, and that's where I would see that guy at all the time. He was like all of those. He would do photos as the was it Captain Spaulding. So I would see that. I see him there all the time, and they showed like his final appearance there, and I hadn't been to one in a while, and yeah, he looked a lot different, his final appearance there, versus whenever I was seeing him. So but yeah, and yeah, that just kind of sucked. But I guess what I didn't get to see Three from Hell. It was on a Fathom event that I couldn't make, and I hadn't seen the other ones in a long time anyway, so I couldn't really remember them that much. But Rob Zombie said that they made his final appearance, or his small appearance in Three from Hell. They made it memorable, and so that was good for him. But yeah, I hated seeing that happen, but I mean, it catches up to us all, I guess. Anyway, and again, guys, I don't have much to talk about tonight. I can talk about the video I did a couple days ago, I guess. There's not much to say I didn't already say on there. But I can tell you guys, I didn't even know if I wanted to release it. Because, you know me, I don't like to ruffle feathers. But I even went back and watched it, and was like, should I even do this? Paul joins us. How you doing, Paul? Yeah, I even went back and watched the video before I released it. I had uploaded it. I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? Because I knew some of the stances I took would probably be, you know, some people wouldn't like. I mean, it's YouTube, social media. It's this stuff, and there's always someone that's gonna, you know, not like what you say. And you know, the response to it's been pretty positive. I had if you watched the last Low Budget live stream, I talked about making a thumbnail, a ridiculous thumbnail, and the one for that video is it. I had so much fun making that thumbnail, and I whenever I talked about it a couple weeks ago on this live stream, I was like, it wasn't even there. All that stuff wasn't even there. The the title was like, or the title on the thumbnail was like 2 lines shorter. I added a few more buzzwords. I added the little circle with the with the image behind the circle that some people can't see, if you know what I'm saying. But I had fun making that, but it would make me sick if I made those for all my videos. I try to make something fun and creative for my thumbnails. And a lot of times it's just me standing in front of a picture of the movie. I mean, I try to make something fun, but man, I can't stand the clickbait culture of thumbnails. And um, and Desiree says that clickbait pick is fantastic. Nailed it. I honestly wish I had more ideas for it. I wanted to cram more in there because it honestly just started off as an idea of me standing in front of a picture, one picture, and because I looked up on whatever Firefox or Google and whatever I was looking on Internet Explorer, and Bryson joins us. How you doing, Bryson? I looked up clickbait, right? And there was this cartoon of the little mouse hand arrows pointing to a hook, and it was just gonna be me standing in front of a thing that said clickbait, and I'm like, no, I got to do something here, and I was trying to, uh, I was trying to, uh, whenever I was getting, I mean, I worked on that when I first worked on it. It was like right before the live stream, so I'm like, man, I want to get this ready for the live stream. And it's like, no, I want to use this for something else. I didn't know I was going to use it for the video I did because I didn't know I was going to do the video I did. Um, but but yeah, before I did it, I kept changing and adding words and putting little things in there, and there was a few more things I wanted to do, but man, I was running out of room. There was getting to be too many words on there, and I'm just like, man, I'm starting to cover up my images. I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, does it? It's clickbait. What do you expect? So I had a lot of fun making that. It was, again, using it ironically it was fine with me because I knew I was making fun of it and it was all in good humor. But if I did that all the time, I don't know if I could live with myself. But yeah, for me, I was just in a down place, and I just needed to talk, man. I just needed to talk, and like I said, I definitely know it wasn't popular with some. Um, I lost, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 subscribers, but it didn't, for the first time ever. Excuse me. For the first time ever, losing the subscribers didn't bother me because it was like, well, I'm just throwing out there what I'm about, and it was, I just had to say it. I had to say what I was going to say, and there it is. There's my cards on the table, and if you want to, and it wasn't you. If you leave me, I'll be mad. It's like, if you want to be here, I'm cool with that. If you don't want to be here, I'm cool with that too. I mean, as I said in the video, I'd love to see growth on the channel, but if it doesn't grow, it doesn't grow. And by the way, man, can't clear my throat. YouTube is finding a way to keep me from talking. I was honestly surprised, by the way, that video didn't get to where it was like, you can't run this because it's not safe for advertisers, and it did. It did for like 10 minutes, and then I hit the oh, come on, just watch it. It's not like I'm saying this word and that word. I mean, I always state that there's people that say things like the N-word on their videos, and they're still monetized. And I barely even cussed on that video. They probably just didn't like that I, kind of went against them a little bit. But they released it, and it was fine. But anyway, yeah, the video was, so I just had to say some stuff, and I decided it's like, because I did consider stopping. I really did, just because the world was bothering me. But it's like, I knew I would snap out of it, and I'm all right. I mean, again, I found the weirdest inspiration doing that KFC dating sim video today. It's like, okay, now I'm finding a new inspiration to be fun. Oh, and what I was going to say is, I have read your comments. I haven't commented on anything. I will be commenting on it soon on the different ones, but I have been reading all of them. So thank you so much. I mean, I haven't read any in a while, but like in a few hours, but if there's any more, but I have been reading them. So I just want you guys to know that I am seeing your comments. So thank you so much for responding to that video. And I do have to say I'm wondering if the clickbait thumbnail did garner some interest, because I've gotten a lot of hits on that video, more so than a lot of other videos I'm doing, other than like my banana splits video, which did pretty well. I got some decent hits on my clickbaity video, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm glad I did the video. I'm glad I released it. Again, I watched it. I had to. I'm like, do I really want to do this? And I watched it. I'm like, who am I going to piss off? And I'm sure I pissed off some. I really am. But it wasn't out of hate. It's just like, look, here's how I feel about things. And, those that know me know I'm genuine, and I'm here, and this is what I do. If you like it, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. No ill will. If you don't want to be here, that's all right with me. Because I'm not going to let it get to me anymore. I mean, I'm sure I will sometimes, but, I mean, I'm human, but, I'm doing all right now. Let's see, where was I? Bill says, Bob Iger's memoir confirms Ike Perlmutter fought tooth and nail against Black Panther and Captain Marvel, and Kevin Feige almost quit over it. Yeah, I saw a little bit on that. I hadn't read too many articles, but, yeah, I'm not surprised that they didn't want to do all the characters. Captain Marvel, I had a feeling they would have wanted to do Black Panther, but and it's definitely the stronger of the two movies. But I mean they're gonna, that they're gonna be forced to make some movies they don't want to make. But I'm not surprised by that some of the movies had to be forced through. That would suck if Kevin Feige had quit over it, though. Imagine if they didn't have him right now, how much of a mess Marvel could be if he wasn't there. Paul says, are you going to make more funny clickbait? Maybe. I don't know. I was really going to use that thumbnail either for a couple weeks ago's live stream, or I was going to do a fun video about clickbait. Just kind of making fun of it. And I still might. But man, I threw everything I had into that thumbnail because I was just, what can I put in here? I was looking up the most annoying stuff I could find and trying to add it. And it's one of my favorite Photoshop pictures I've ever done. Is crazy as it is. So, but I had fun making it. I may do something more on that. It's probably not going to be for a while though. Desiree says, no, we love you, Gina. Thank you so much. I know. And I know, like I said in the video, it's like, I know I'm not alone in this world, but sometimes I feel that way because, again, when my sons aren't here, this house is weird. It's just all quiet and calm. And I don't know. I guess I don't do well with quiet and calm sometimes, even though I like my quiet and calm sometimes. It's really weird. I'm really weird. Bryce says, for any true crime lovers here, Vice put out a documentary online about a possible serial killer in a town that is near me that's super interesting, called The Devil You Know. Wow. I've watched a little bit of Vice. I watched some of their wrestling stuff. But I might have to check that out. The one I want to watch because I like the movie. I like the movie The Iceman, is Richard Kuklinski. I've been watching a little bit here and there of the Kuklinski tapes. That story is interesting because it's crazy just really how charismatic that guy is, being a serial killer behind bars. It's weird, man, because you almost feel for the guy, right? Because you can see there might be some remorse there, even though he says there's not, but he still murdered lots of people. And it's an interesting watch, what little bit I've watched, but I want to watch all of it and do something on it. Because I did review The Iceman when it came out. I traveled to see that movie, and I really liked it. When I met Michael Shannon, he was surprised that somebody had seen it. he was excited that I had my Iceman poster to be signed. But yeah, I want to do something on that, but I do love like true crime stories. I am a fan of like anything involving like cops and crime and things like that. So I might have to check that out. Daniel says, "Hello, hey, how you doing, bud?" He also says, "Abominable got an A3 on Rotten Tomatoes. Playmobil got an 18. I'm not surprised by either of those. Abominable looks like it's safe and fun. Playmobil looks like we're trying to be Lego." But anyway, Desiree says, "Bryce, I actually lived with my grandma growing up. We lived a few houses away from the serial Richard. Holy crap, Richard Ramirez. He even went to high school with my aunt. Super creepy stuff. That is insane. It's crazy that you know where some of these people come from, and you may or may have not have had interactions with them, or it's weird. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but you just never know who you've been around. That's insane. I mean, they got to come from somewhere, right? Um, but that's crazy. Bill says Ike promoters kept saying black and female Supers didn't sell. Well, I mean, he's wrong because they kind of did. I mean, just look how well Black Panther did. Hey, Black Panther kind of put Movie Pass out of business. So see, gay Black Panther. Um, yeah, that's you gotta have while while diversity look diversity is cool in any kind of movie, but I mean if it was really forced, I I don't like anything forced on me, whether it be something I believe in or something I don't believe in. But I mean, they fit Black Panther and Captain Marvel into the stories that it doesn't feel forced and it works really well. Again, I don't love Captain Marvel. I like the movie, um, but that's pretty dumb saying that they just wouldn't sell. Of course, they're gonna sell, um, and they did. Paul says, "Glad to see you're doing well today. Was worried you wasn't going to do live stream night. Wasn't sure if I was. So, I mean, that's why the late start, and I just wasn't feeling well today. Lunch wasn't sitting well with me, and I've been kind of laying down ever since I got off work. And then I got up. I'm like, yeah, we'll try. And I'm feeling all right now. So thank you guys for showing up. Bryce says, "There's Desiree. That is creepy. He was super crazy." Let's see. Desert says, Belgique, that guy live in the 20s. Segregation is dead and women can vote. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's. Yeah, the old thinking needs to go away. The old ways of thinking. I mean, I grew up in a small town that was pretty much, all white. Um, and it's, let's just say, I'm not going to say everyone was bad there or anything because they weren't. Everyone, but there were people there that didn't, think real, didn't think real highly of people that weren't like them. I'm kind of glad I mean, while I appreciate some of the people in my old town, my hometown, um, like I don't hate my hometown, but I grew up around some stuff that I wasn't a fan of, and I'm kind of glad I got away from it. I don't know how it is now. I haven't really been back a lot since my grandma passed away. So, let's see. Desiree says, Bryce, you had to think of all the bad shiz that could have happened to my family. Yeah, it's crazy. You just never know where this stuff's going to come from. Who's going to be living next to you? Who's going to be two doors down? Who's going to be the neighborhood over? That's just crazy. Paul says, maybe I missed it, but you didn't see your Ad Astra review. It's because I haven't done it yet. It came and I saw it Sunday, and just Sunday night I couldn't bring myself to do anything. Monday, I was gonna do the real rant video and couldn't bring myself to do anything, and I was gonna do Ad Astra that day, couldn't do it, and then of course I did my video yesterday, kind of saying this is where I'm at mindset wise. I'll have it out sometime this week. I do have some thoughts on it. It will be out there, and I learned something today. It's Ad Astra is Latin from for like to the stars, I think is what it is. I had to look that up because I don't know Latin. Um, but I I'll just say this: I didn't love the movie. But I would have been more accepting of the movie had the ending not been so happy. I'll just say that. I'll in my review I will have to talk about the ending because the ending, I won't say it ruined the movie, but it definitely knocked it down a few pegs for me, and that's unfortunate because I liked the idea of the movie. The total execution wasn't the best, even though I liked a lot of the way it looked and everything. The execution of the story might have been a little too slow, even though it was kind of I mean, it is about long space travel, so I mean, I get it. But the ending itself, yeah, I'll talk about it in a review when I finally do it. I'm hoping to work on the review tomorrow or Friday. I don't know if I'll get to, but I'm hoping to. As again, I've only got one movie this week, as far as I know. Bryson says the guy here was named Pazuzu Algarid, like legit Pazuzu after the demons from the demon from The Exorcist. He was a self-proclaimed Satanist with filed teeth, and 2 bodies were found in his yard. He was involved in the death of another guy. Only got involuntary manslaughter for it. That's nuts. Let's see. Daniel says thoughts on Playmobil is trying to be the Lego Movie, but Frozen 2 isn't being the Lego Movie. I'm honestly I'm not excited for Playmobil. Of course, it's trying to be the Lego Movie. Frozen 2 isn't being the Lego Movie. I haven't seen anything on Frozen 2, to be honest. I haven't watched any trailers or anything. I can't say I'm excited for it. I like Olaf, you know, so I want to see it, and I like the first movie fine. Um, I don't know. I'm not excited for it though. I don't know. Um, yeah, Frozen 2. It's not one I'm looking forward to. I am curious if they're gonna try to, uh, recreate the magic of Let It Go. I really am. I'll be. I know they're gonna try. We'll see what happens there. Desiree says, guy clearly doesn't know Pazuzu. He is a wind god like, semi benevolent, demon like being that is worshipped for helping grow crops and is only malicious when anger stirring up storms and vicious winds. Yeah, of course they're gonna misinterpret. Uh, you know, it's just like anyone that takes anything and twists it and makes it their own and does something bad in the name of. Let's see. Bryson says, I think he was a Manson wannabe. He had a small cult-like following and several female followers called quote-unquote fiancés who were all in their teens or 20s. Though he was mid-30s, drugs were part. Let's see. Oh, Desiree got a message withheld. Let's see what she said. Let's see. It's drugs and gullible young women. Baffles me how people get suckered into following nut jobs. Yeah, it's definitely, it's weird how that stuff happens. I mean, it's just, but then again, a lot of times, they prey on people that have bad home lives and things like that, and they know, and plus then they're charismatic. I mean, they're just really likable, or at least seem to be likable people until they turn on the crazy. But yeah, it is crazy how that stuff happens. But I mean, they definitely prey on the quote unquote weak, to try to, the people that don't feel like they have a home, and it's like, well, we have a home here for you. They're loving and accepting, and then they ask you to murder people. It's just, that is insane how that happens. Bryce says, can Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum save the new Jurassic Park, or is it bringing them back sign of studio desperation? Well, they can't save Jurassic Park because Jurassic Park's awesome. No, I'm kidding. I know what you meant. it is a sign of studio desperation. That being said, I'm not really surprised. I'm honestly surprised they didn't bring him back before. Of course, we got Jeff Goldblum in the last one at the bookends. Heck, the trailer showed the end of the movie pretty much. Um, but yeah, bringing them back is definitely, man. People didn't like this. Uh, they didn't like this. Whatever, this last movie we made, Fallen Kingdom, because I mean, it wasn't good. Um, but can they save it? I mean, it's definitely, hopefully. I mean, they tried to do that with Jurassic Park 3. They brought back Sam Neill, and I think Laura Dern was in it for a little bit, and then of course Jeff Goldblum was the head of the second one. So, um, what I'm wondering if they're gonna do is if they're gonna say that Chris Pratt's character was the kid that Sam Neill scared at the first Jurassic Park with the raptor claw. Um, I have a feeling that he's gonna be like, "You taught me a lesson that day," you know. A lot of people wanted Chris Pratt to be the kid, the boy from the first one, the main boy, whatever his name was, the one that was running around with Sam Neill and the character's sister. Um, I'm sure they're gonna try to cram in some reference there, but it's a little bit desperate, yeah. Let's see. Where was I? Paul says, "Can't wait to see the Joker movie. Hope it's good." Me too. I really do. I still have this fear that it's going to be Taxi Driver. It's just going to be like too much of an homage to Taxi Driver. Um, it makes me wonder if they're going to have. They have had interviews where they said, uh, people in the movie, we're not propping him up as a hero or something like that, but I got a feeling that we're gonna see both sides. There's gonna be people in the movie saying he's evil, and some people saying he's who we need. I'm hearing there is no Batman connection. I don't know if I believe that. I have a feeling that they might put something on, and that they just didn't show critics whenever they were at the film festivals and stuff. I don't know. The movie supposedly takes place in like the 80s or something. I think it's like 70s or 80s. So at least that's what I understood. So it wouldn't take place at take this. It wouldn't take. I'm stumbling all over the place. It wouldn't take part at the same time as whatever new Batman movie they're making. If I can get the words out. Um, um So I mean, it wouldn't make sense that it would link to the Robert Pattinson Batmans that are going to be happening. I hope it's good too. I really do. I like that Joaquin Phoenix said that whenever he's real choosy with roles, and if he chose the Joker, you at least hope there's something there. I mean, he doesn't always pick a winner, but at least he always tries to pick something interesting. So hopefully that's the case here. I am looking forward to it. I don't think I get an early screening of that, but they are showing like really early screenings next week on Thursday. So I'm looking forward to it. Daniel says, "Remember Pixels?" What's Pixels? No, yeah, of course I remember Pixels. The biggest thing I remember about Pixels is that Peter Dinklage was pretty much Billy Mitchell. That's what I remember about that movie the most, is his kind of Billy Mitchell character. Don't really like that movie a lot. Especially the ending where Hubert becomes the girl video game character and then has babies with one of the other characters. It was weird. I don't even want to think of the implications there. Desiree says, "Read an article earlier about how George Lucas felt backstabbed about Force Awakens because it wasn't what he had wanted them to do." That's just it. Well, I sympathize with him a little bit. I do. He sold it, so he can't say anything. Whenever I remember seeing something back then where he was just like, "They won't listen to me." It's like, then you shouldn't have sold it. You should have made a partnership or something like that if you wanted to be involved. That's on him. They can do whatever they want. But while Lucas, look, I give George Lucas a lot of credit for what he created, but then he created more things and more things, and we all know that all of it didn't work. Some did. Characters like Darth Maul, even though he was kind of wasted in episode 1, they were able to do more with him later. You give him the right writers, and they make him fantastic in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. And apparently they're talking about putting him in some shows on Disney Plus. So Lucas, again, while I sympathize a little bit, I can't sympathize too much because he sold it. If you sell the rights, you don't really have the right to say they have to do this. You can say it all you want, but they don't have to listen because you sold it to them. Paul says, hope they bring the kids back also. I have a feeling they will. They're gonna try so hard to make it Jurassic Park. Bill says Jurassic Park is weird now that scientists found T-Rex soft tissue and found out dinosaurs were basically giant birds. Well, yeah, I mean, even Jurassic Park, the raptors, they were saying that that raptors looked really nothing like they did in the movie, right? And of course they even say, well, they came from birds. But yeah, it's, of course, man, if they discover, it's gonna throw all that out of whack. But then again, it's still a cool movie. I mean, of course, we didn't live back then. We didn't know what they looked like. Our sci-fi imagination ran wild, and it's still cool. Johnny the Bird joins us, says, like this stream. Thank you so much. We have a lot of fun here, and we try to do it every other week on Wednesday, depending on my schedule and everything. So definitely join us then. Bill says, my headcanon is the frog DNA they added made giant chicken frogs. Yeah, the dinosaurs would look a little weirder. Bryson says, have you seen the stills of De Niro CGI to look younger in The Irishman? It looks off like Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One. Off, but perhaps worse. Man, that de-aging stuff is really tricky, and I have not seen it. I don't want to see anything on The Irishman because I don't really want to spoil anything. So I'm kind of staying away from that one. Eventually, I'm sure I'll see a trailer or something, but I can imagine that's just it. The de-aging thing, though the technology is there, and though some have done it really well, especially Disney seems to have. I mean, the Grand Moff Tarkin thing is a little different because that's like a full. I mean, yeah, they mapped his face, but they weren't de-aging that actor. They had to create an entire face. You had the uncanny valley kind of stuff going on. With De Niro, they're making him look younger, which is probably more along the lines of what they did with like Sam Jackson and Captain Marvel. But that being said, not everybody does well on it. Not everyone has figured out how to do it right. And really, it seems like Marvel is the one that have kind of figured it out. So I have a feeling that they're going to be outsourcing some more to other studios if other studios can't figure it out. Desiree says, sent you a screenshot on what Lucas wanted to do. I'm so glad they took it from him now. What the heck kind of BS was he thinking? It sounds janky. Let me check this out. I'm guessing over Twitter you sent it. Let me take a look here. Yep, there's a message. Hey, it's Desiree. She sent me a photo. Let's see. Trying to get around my microphone here. Let's see. Revealed direction of sequel trilogy would take interview with James Cameron. New Jedi named Kira, secluded planet. Midichlorians. Of course, there's Midichlorians. Everyone loves the Midichlorians. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading this myself. I'll post this later on Twitter so everyone can see it. Let's see. Oh, of course, yeah, the wills. I remember the wills. I've read about those before. Yeah, just like Disney running everything. Uh, I didn't like it when Lucas was running everything. That's a lot of times the best movies and TV shows are ones. I know they say you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, and I agree with that. But you also don't want a a dictator chef in the kitchen either. Um, it's just when you got some more people. Yeah, you want a showrunner, but you want that showrunner or person running the movie to listen to the ideas of of his crew. And when you have, I remember seeing videos from like the making of the Phantom Menace, and it was people were just like, "Yes, Mr. Lucas, we think that's a great idea. Oh yeah, Jar Jar's going to be fantastic." You know, and though Jar Jar didn't turn out too bad, whenever they did him use his character in like Clone Wars and stuff like that, they were actually able to do something with him. And heck, whenever I used to do my podcast, get on the mic, I think the first episode I defended Jar Jar Binks because they released what really happened to him. You look that up. What happened to Jar Jar Binks like before he's still out there, and what happened to him? Man, they ran him and they made me defend him. They made me defend him. And I just remember saying, it's like, look, he at least tried to help. Versus we celebrate Darth Vader, and how many people did he murder? But anyway, of course, Darth Vader just is awesome. So, of course, we celebrate him. But yeah, you got to have someone helping you with your ideas because when just one person makes a decision, you get Jar Jar Binks. Let's see. Bryce says Matrix 4. Well, will I have to watch Matrix 3 to get it? Probably. I love Keanu, but I'm not going to force myself to watch 3 again. Also, Bright 2 is delayed, but why is it being made? Bright sucked. Carnival Row is what Bright should have been. Also, Will Smith can't carry movies by his charisma anymore. Gemini Man's trailers have just been getting worse to me. Matrix, yeah, they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna continue that. I guess Keanu Reeves is gonna come back because I mean, come on, he is digital Jesus in that franchise. The crazy thing is, I know 3 wasn't good, and I agree with that, but at least I thought it was better than 2. And I know people didn't like 3 because they didn't like 2 a lot, because 2 really took you out of that universe. As cool as it looked. 3, I don't know. They tried to show the realism and people, and yeah, again, I know it's not good, and I don't think it's a great movie or anything, but heck, man, you're probably just gonna have to read the Wikipedia page to catch up, I imagine. So why not? And then Bright 2 is delayed. I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, Bright. I didn't hate Bright. I didn't. And it's mainly, and look, I know it's not a great movie and the execution on a lot of things isn't good, but I like the idea. But then you mentioned Carnival Row. I have not got to see Carnival Row yet, but it definitely looks like, well, granted, Bright is in the modern world where I believe Carnival Row is like further back in history. I'm not positive because, again, I haven't seen it. But I guess from what I am hearing, I'm hearing that's a good show. And it is one I want to check out. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I mean, look how far behind I am on everything else. I just reviewed The Boys the other day, and it's been out a month. But I like the idea of Bright. I used to, whenever I'd play, like I used to write D&D stuff. I wanted to create I used to try to write stories, like short stories, and I wanted to write a book, and I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. And one of my stories was kind of like the fantasy world in modern times. It makes me wonder if Netflix stole my notes. No, I'm sure it wasn't anything like that. But yeah, that Carnival Row show does look cool. I'm not a big Cara Delevingne fan, but I mean, if the show's cool, the show's cool. Anything I've seen on it looks cool though. Dennis said, "Oh, I'm sorry, the Gemini Man trailers. The trailers have been getting worse. I am curious about that movie. I thought the CG of young Will looked all right, except the mouth. Anytime he talks, it looks weird. It looks fake. I'm hoping they fix that. I'm hoping it's good. I really am. Ang Lee is always hit and miss with me. It's either I really like his movie or I can't stand it. So we'll see where Gemini Man ends up. Dennis says, obligatory wrestling question of the night. And you know you can always ask wrestling questions here. Though I don't follow it much anymore, I'll still answer. Gino, are you watching AEW's debut episode next week? Probably not when it happens. I don't have cable, so I'll have to have like my parents tape it for me if I want to check it out. But if they show some online and stuff, I'll definitely check that out. I am curious how they're gonna do. But can I watch it live? No, I won't be able to. But I'm hoping they do well. I do think in a way, and I'm not trying to insult NXT here, but in a way, I feel like WWE is I think WWE is trying to insult AEW, trying to say there will be no new. Well, I know it's not a Monday, but like a Wednesday Night War. We're not going to put you up against our A talent. We're going to put you up against our developmental talent, and they're going to smoke you, and we'll show you just how good you are and how much you suck. But that being said, NXT's wrestling, honestly, the last time I was watching it was way better than the main product. So I'm hoping they're not really trying to insult AEW that way. But I will probably check it out somehow. I want them to do well because competition is a good thing, and it only though not everything in the Attitude Era was fantastic, it at least led to new stars being created or elevated, and some cool storylines came out of it, and it really made them step up their game. And I would love to see them go to war for a while, even longer than WCW went to war with them. Bill says, now that Disney owns Fox, will they start Stars with the classic 20th Century Fox opening? I'm going to say no. And the reason I say that, even though they probably should, Disney wants to say it's ours now. There is no Fox. It's Disney. But I guess on the new releases that they're gonna do of the when they're gonna release all the new or all the Star Wars stuff, all the movies and everything, apparently, from what I understand, they took the Fox thing off. They took, there's not the drum roll or anything. It's just like long time ago, Galaxy Far, Far Away, Star Wars, right? So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do that. Let's see, where was I? Desiree says, speaking of D&D, a customer gave me the old animated D&D cartoon. Been meaning to watch it, but don't have time. Also got D&D Essentials kit, hoping to get some friends to play with me. The cartoon is not great. It's entertaining. If I remember, it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's pretty silly, but what do you expect? It's a 80s kids cartoon. But it's not it's not going to be what you really want from a D&D cartoon. Heck, even when they tried to do D&D cartoons like the Dragonlance cartoon, which I did a review for, I don't know, last year, year before, when I was doing critical reviews, even those, they haven't had a great history with them. The books are still the best way to get good D&D stories. And man, I ain't played D&D in a couple years now. I kind of retired from it. I'm not saying I wouldn't play again, but man, if I really get into D&D, it takes too much of my time. Because I'll take time and I'll develop a story of a character. Here's his whole history kind of thing. And but yeah, if you can do a pickup game of D&D, it's fun. If you can definitely get a group that can play a continued story, that's the best way to play D&D. If you can get a group to play every week, like once a week, every other week, that's all you really need, because you want to have time to let the stories, kind of stew a little bit, because there was a time I would play every day or every other day, and it gets to be too taxing. It gets to take over your life too much. But if you can spread it out and just make it a fun thing to do once a week or once every other week or even a couple times a week is fine. It's really fun, and in a way, I miss playing it, but I just know I just don't have that kind of time anymore. Me and a group of friends, um, we used to have a little game we were doing, and but then they wanted to start over, and I just took that time to say I think I'm done because I was spending way too much time on it, and I wasn't getting anything done for the channel. So I needed to kind of decide what my priorities were. But D&D is cool. It's a lot of fun, especially if you find the right kind of campaign with the right kind of people to play with. Um, you want to find yourself a good DM. Um, but that's because there's bad DMs out there, and if you don't find one that has their stuff together, you're not going to have a good experience. Um, but yeah, if you get a chance to play it, yeah, definitely play it. It's a lot of fun. Um, Dennis says, I can get you a feed, bro, if you want to watch it live. Yeah, I won't be able to watch it live, unfortunately. I'll have the boys, so uh, I'll be I'll be neck deep in Mario and whatever toys Andy wants to play that night. But I definitely want to check out AEW. I'm again. I hope they do well. James Babb says, hey, um, glad you could join us, James. Bryson says, I know I've mentioned my love for A24, but have you seen the trailer for Uncut Gems? I'm cautiously looking forward to it. Adam Sandler is back in a serious role. I hope it sets up a comeback for him. That's the funny thing about Adam Sandler. Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer, but I know of it. Because I thought it was coming to like Netflix, and I was gonna do a double feature of like his last couple Netflix movies, but they were showing it at some film festival or something, and I thought I read, and I am curious about that. Anytime he does a serious role, the movie may not be good, but he does good in it. So, um, I, I'm curious about it. I really am. Because I want to see him do something weird and serious, and I just like seeing that stuff. It's funny coming from him because you just don't expect it. You expect him to do one of the voices or whatever, you know. It's um, you just expect silliness out of him. One of his stupid voices or one of his stupid characters that hasn't been funny since the '80s or early '90s, and but then he does something just out of nowhere, and you're just like, oh, cool. You want to see him do more. Then he goes back to his characters, and then makes lots of money from Netflix. So, um, yeah, I am curious about it. I would like to see him do more stuff, like take more risks like that. I don't know if he's just afraid of taking more risks, uh, because maybe he doesn't think it'll go well. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. But I'm curious about that movie. Bill says, I quite like Harmon Quest. It's half-hour animated D&D adventures with comedians. I've seen clips from that. I haven't seen like any full episodes or anything, but I imagine that's pretty fantastic. Um, yeah, I wish my biggest wish is that uh, whoever owns, what is it, Wizards of the Coast that still own D&D. I don't remember who owns them now. I wish they would take a lot of seriousness and use one of their franchises that is established and make like animated, like anime films out of them, like through Netflix or something, kind of like they're doing with Castlevania. Like the Drizzt Do'Urden character would make a fantastic like whole animated saga. And I'm only halfway through that. I haven't been able to read one in years, and I only got like halfway through, and I'm really looking forward to finishing the others when I finally get a chance to sit down and read a book someday. Or like the Dragonlance stuff would be fantastic in anime form. I don't know if, I mean, I would watch live action, but I mean, we've seen 3 live action D&D movies, and none of them were really any good. The third one wasn't the worst thing, but it's just because it felt like D&D. But I would love to see them go the animated route because, man, there's so many cool stories out there, and I've seen like the Drizzt Do'Urden stuff they did in comic book form, and it was really cool to see it visually. And I'd love to see them do it in an animated form, again like Castlevania from Netflix. Jasmine Gill says, do you listen to any D&D podcasts? I don't get to listen to hardly any podcasts anymore, unfortunately. Usually the only time I get to listen to podcasts is when I'm on the road, like if I'm driving to St. Louis or Chicago or if I'm going to Springfield or anything. I try to listen to podcasts, and most times I listen to like a Joe Rogan or something. So now I don't get to listen to any D&D podcasts. I wish I had time to listen to more podcasts. I really do. I kind of wish in a way, I kind of wish I still did mine, but I just don't have. I don't know if I have time to do it anymore. This is kind of my podcast now. Paul says, saw Zombieland 2 second trailer. It looks good. I don't know if I saw the second trailer. I'm hoping it's good. I just know that I'm afraid of that movie because though I'm glad they waited this long to maybe come up with a good story. I just don't know. I don't know. I just don't know if it's gonna work. I really hope that we're just not getting we're not getting a sequel just to get a sequel. Um, but yeah, I want it to be really good. I really like the first movie a lot. Paul says, have I seen Three from Hell? I haven't. I mentioned that earlier, I think, near the first. There was a Fathom Events screening I couldn't make, like 2 of them I couldn't make, and they're not showing any other times. And I had seen the other movies, but it'd been too long, and I'd have to catch up on those anyway. So no, sorry, I haven't seen it. Let's see. Bill says WB Games Montreal just teased a new Batman game on Twitter. Interesting. I hadn't seen that. Let's see. I'm gonna take a look here. Forgive me. I'm curious. Let's see. Sorry. WB Montreal Batman. There we go. Let's see. An all new Batman Arkham game. The Court of Owls. Hey, cool. If they're doing Court of Owls, that's exciting. Is that what they're doing? That's what they're saying. They're teasing a Court of Owls game. I'm cool with that. Yeah, I just bought all the Batman games not too long ago on like Steam sales and stuff, and I got all of them for like even all the side games, like the Blackgate or whatever it was, for less than like $20. I can't remember exactly how much it was. That's cool though. Hopefully there's less driving than was in the last Arkham game, because I know when I finally get around to playing that, I'm gonna hate all that driving. Desiree says, I'd love to see them do animation and be fun to learn some of the lore. Seeing as I have my heart set on being a Kenku, I'd like to see my people's history. Yeah, there's so many different D&Ds out there. That's the problem. You have to decide what's the best one for you. I mean, and then of course you got things like that aren't D&D, like Shadowrun and things like that. You have to decide what universe is the best for you. If you like a dragon heavy world, that would be like Dragonlance. My favorite, I love the Dragonlance world, and I love a lot of characters. My favorite world is Forgotten Realms. But then there's like the desert world of, and I can't remember the name of, Dark Sun, I think is what it's called. And there's Ravenloft, which is like the vampire stuff. There's just so many different worlds. You kind of got to decide what's the best world for you. But the cool thing about D&D is, say your character's race doesn't exist in said world. Like, for example, Dragonlance don't have halflings, but they have kinders, right? They're basically the same thing, but they have differences. You can always bring your character's race into the world, and they can make some kind of excuse how he came from a different realm or something like that. So that's the cool thing about D&D. You can kind of mix it up however the heck you want, as long as you can make sense with your DM to make it work. But yeah, that's the cool thing about D&D. You kind of you don't always have to follow their rules. You can kind of make your own rules up as well, as long as it works with everybody. Bryson says, do I watch any anime? I thought late summer season was mediocre. Best of summer was SSS SSSS Gridman. Lots coming up in the fall. My biggest will be Psychopaths 3. Also, 3 from Hell is getting another Fathom showing on the 14th. Let's see. Could I go on the 14th? Nope, I wouldn't be able to go on the 14th either. I always have to see when I have my kids. But yeah, I don't watch a ton of anime. There is some I really want to see, but I mean, other than some of the major ones like Dragon Ball Z, which I haven't even followed, even the new stuff they've been doing. Um, I I used to follow Dragon Ball Z. I used to own all of Gundam Wing. I really like Gundam Wing a lot. Um, but my introduction into anime that wasn't Americanized. Like I mean, I grew up with Voltron and Robotech and some of the stuff like that that I wouldn't even know as a kid that it was anime. You know, because as a kid you don't know that stuff. Um, so uh, I remember I came home late from work one night when I was working at Kroger, and the Sci-Fi Channel had some anime movie weekend, and I don't remember any of the ones they showed. There was like 4 or 6 movies they showed, but the one I remember and I still love to this day is Vampire Hunter D. If you haven't seen that movie, it's fantastic. And then I also like the newer, was it Bloodlust? I think is the second one they did. The animation's way different in Bloodlust, but I think that's what it was subtitled. Um, but I've always loved that character, and I've always wished they would have done more with it. I know they released like a PlayStation game that wasn't very good. It tried to be like a Resident Evil type game. Um, but yeah, when it comes to anime, I don't like a ton. I've got nothing against it. It's just I just haven't gotten invested in a lot of it. But Vampire Hunter D, I do love. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if they still are, but a while back, if you want to watch either of the Vampire Hunter D movies, they were on YouTube like full. You could just watch them, and someone had posted all of them and how they never gotten taken off. I don't know, but so they're on there, I'm sure still. But they're different, but they're different kind of movies. That being said, the one they put up on YouTube had some different audio because I'd remember watching it and I'm like, wait, that's not what they said before. They had switched some of the audio, like they would have to have like a new voice actor do it or something. But it was still you got the story was still the same. Those are the two that I really like a lot. Let's see. Let's see. Desiree says 3 from Hell will be out on DVD, Blu-ray the same date. That same date, according to my work computers. So probably just rent it. I might do that. I need to watch the other ones again. Maybe if I do like review that, I'll do all of them because I never reviewed any of them. So I might do that. Daniel says he's back. Welcome back, Daniel. Again, if you guys got anything you want to talk about, we'll do this a little longer. Probably be shutting it down here in a bit, but if you definitely got anything you want to talk about, let's do it again. Since we got a late start, we'll go for a little bit longer. Yeah, because I don't have much else to talk about, and I've been a little out of the world for a bit. Let's see. Daniel Vasquez says, Cats. Oh, and then Cats will be the scariest movie of the year. Maybe. God, it could be. That trailer is just so weird. I just can't. I don't know, man. It wasn't what I was expecting when I heard about that. But when I heard about that movie and then when I saw that trailer, I'm like, my God. Let's see. Scott says, have you seen Star Trek TMP Director's Cut with commentary? Oh, the motion picture with commentary. I had a new appreciation for the original film after seeing it. Nah, I've never seen it with the commentary. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I don't remember it all that much. I mean, I get a lot of flack for this, but but Generations is like my favorite, I think. I know that's not a great movie, but I just love Picard, and I kind of liked seeing him and Kirk work together. That being said, my love for Kirk now is my love for Kirk kind of puts a damper on the movie. And plus, I like Malcolm McDowell too, and him being the villain's pretty cool. Because Picard's the man, and I can't wait for that show. I gotta find some. I know it's gonna be on this. I think on the streaming service. I don't know if I want to get the CBS streaming service, so maybe I'll have to find a way to watch it. But that Picard show, I'm looking forward to that. Paul says One Punch Man, Ghost in the Shell. Never saw One Punch Man. I have seen Ghost in the Shell. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I liked it way better than the live action movie. Because the live action movie kind of just it lost the point. Let's see. Bill says the cats have human noses. Yeah, it's weird. The still frame of was it Jennifer Hudson, like looking kind of just off screen. I mean, it's kind of nightmare fuel. Bryce says audio changes and dubs are common, especially after a long period of time. I think Vampire Hunter D is from the mid '80s. Japanese to English is difficult. I'm personally more of a sub person. That was just it. My introduction to any anime was always dubbed. I mean, especially with like Dragon Ball Z and stuff. But that being said, if I were to get anything now, I would probably go for subtitles instead. That way you get the complete story. I mean, you just look. I mean, if you can look at the Batman Ninja movie for an example. I mean, the story, you watch it with the subtitles and you watch it with the dub, and it's way different. So I think I would want the more authentic experience if I did that. Desiree says I watch sub as well, but I'm partial to DBZ in English. Prefer the guy voice for Goku than the female VA they have for him in the sub. He does have a bit of a high pitched voice, I've heard in the Japanese version. That being said, I know a lot of people aren't liking Sean Schemmel right now. Let's see. Daniel says, if you go to check out Abominable tomorrow, you will get trailers for Frozen 2, Playing with Fire. Hey, my son wants to see Playing with Fire, and I'm actually kind of excited for him to go see that with me. Andy might be doing something with me for that one because it's got John Cena in it. Trolls 2 and Cats. Oh god, more cats. Bryson says, my first anime experience was a weird show called Sikabane Jaime. It's about Buddhist priests who use dead females to fight ghosts, but it requires a cursory knowledge of how yokai work. I would have been lost on that one. Let's see. Rob joins Smirking on Reviews. How you doing, buddy? Just been sitting here listening, organizing my comics, and getting ready for the new South Park and Kobe Smoller's new show with Jake Johnson called Stumptown. Sorry, I hit the caps lock, but it's all right, bud. I'm glad you're joining us, buddy. And I will say this. I said this earlier. I don't know how long you've been listening. I read the comments for the video I just did yesterday. If you need to talk, buddy, you can always talk to me on Twitter. Just throwing that out there. You don't have to, but if you need to talk, bud, you can. Bryson says at Smirking Interviews, thank you for reminding me that South Park new season starts today. I knew it was coming out, but I don't have cable. I'll watch it online tomorrow. Oh, good. I thought you were going to be leaving us, Bryson, to go watch. I'm kidding. South Park is much funnier than me. Let's see. Paul says, wonder will Disney do a live action Frozen movie? Yes, they probably will. I'm willing to bet they will. And then Paul says, hi, Rob. We'll definitely be wrapping it up here in a minute, guys. But get your last minute questions, comments in. I definitely want to read them. But we'll be calling it quits here in a bit, I think. I'm getting pretty beat. So let's see. Daniel says, even if you're looking forward to Playing with Fire because your son's excitement, but I got to admit the jokes are unfunny in it. But if you like the jokes, hey, it's one of those movies that I know it's going to be bad. I know it looks bad, but when I show my son the trailer, he is excited for it. And here's the thing, though. I took him to see Ferdinand, and I think because he couldn't see John Cena, he couldn't see John Cena. I knew I was gonna walk into that one of these days. Um, he couldn't visualize John Cena on screen. He just saw the bull. He liked it, but it didn't really click with him because John Cena wasn't in front of him. And this one I showed him the trailer, and he's like, it's John Cena, because Cena doesn't wrestle much anymore, and Andy's wanting to go see a wrestling show sometime. He's been telling me he wants to go to a wrestling show. I'm like, buddy, Cena's not going to be there, you know? But then, of course, then he goes, and I don't know if Dennis is still listening, but he goes, who's still there? He goes, is CM Punk still there? I'm like, oh man, he sees the people that I like that aren't there anymore, and he's naming these people, and I'm like, no, he's not there anymore either. And he's like, oh man. And then he's like, is Daniel Bryan still? I was like, yes, Daniel Bryan is still there. So if I take him to go see him, it'll have to be one that Daniel Bryan is wrestling on. But anyway, I hope it's at least entertaining for him. That's my biggest hope. It doesn't look like a great movie, but it looks like it could be dumb fun for him at least. Let's see. Rob says, hey, Paul. Desiree says, my first animes, of course, were the standard Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon. But I always attribute my love of anime to Trigun. Excellent sci-fi, western, fantastic characters. I've seen a little bit of Trigun. When I was trying different animes, I watched like one of those, I think, but I don't remember much about it. But when it came to the animes I was really drawn to, a lot of them were video game based. So I would be checking out. I like the Street Fighter anime movie, or Street Fighter 2 anime movie. I liked the what was it? Fatal Fury. And some of those like that. I always found myself drawn to those. I don't know, maybe it's because I was just big into video games at the time when I was doing it as well. But yeah, I like the Fatal Fury. I loved all the Street Fighter, except the Street Fighter TV show. That one, like the ones that had like the episodes, those weren't very good. But the movies, like the Alpha and stuff like that, those were really good. I still own a copy. It's over there somewhere, I think, of the anime movie that has like Alice in Chains on the soundtrack, and I think that's part of the reason why I kind of drawn to it, because I love Alice in Chains. But anyway, see, where was I? Rob says, I'm getting pretty big De Niro, the King of Comedy vibes from the Joker trailers. Yeah, a lot of people said that's what they wanted. Like, that's what they wanted from him, was to do the King of Comedy stuff. Yeah, I hope that movie's good. We talked about that a little earlier, I think. I don't know if you were listening, how early you were listening, but yeah, we talked about Joker a little bit. I really want it to be good. I really do. But who knows? I mean, now there's the whole controversy of people saying it's gonna incite violence and things like that. That's just it. Anyone can be inspired to do bad or good by anything. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And it's a movie. It's not trying to be some, at least from what I understand, the filmmakers saying it's not some commentary on life, but yeah, I'm hoping it's good though. I really do. And yeah, I definitely see the King of Comedy vibes as well. Let's see. Daniel says, wouldn't it be funny if your son actually saw the trailer to Blockers? No, it wouldn't be. Let's see. Paul says, can't wait to see the TV show Emergence. I don't know much about that one. I don't get to watch a lot of TV, unfortunately. Daniel says, what would happen if your kids saw a trailer for Cats? They'd probably run and hide. And Sonic, my youngest would be interested, but I showed him that one, if I'm not mistaken, and he didn't like it. He didn't like the way Sonic looked either. So good boy. He's got good taste. Paul says, isn't CM Punk in the 1977 Rabid remake? I don't know. I know he's doing some horror movie, or he did some horror movie, like he's like a serial killer or something in it, but I can't remember what it's called. Let's see. Bryce says, Gino, have you seen anything about Judy? The trailer. It's a movie starring Renee Zellweger, who I haven't thought about in ages. Yeah, nobody did. She kind of just came out of nowhere to try to snag an Oscar, I think. It's Judy Garland. I haven't seen anything about it until seeing it is coming to a theater near me. Yeah, it's gonna be in limited release. I don't think it's coming anywhere around here. If it does, I'll probably try to go see it Saturday, but I haven't looked to see if it's anywhere near me since yesterday. I think it was the last I looked. Um, yeah, I've seen the trailer. It looks fine. It looks like an Oscar grab. Like, I'm coming back. It's my comeback. Because I know she hasn't done much lately. I mean, she's a good actress. I mean, I've never really been a huge fan, but I see the appeal. Um, let's see. Desiree says Vega was nuts in the movie and show. Is it bad? The movie and show is what made him my favorite Street Fighter character? No, because that fight with Chun-Li in her apartment is insane. That I still go back and find that clip on YouTube and watch that whole fight. I love that whole fight. Yeah, and just his vanity and everything comes into play in that, where she messes up his face with her kicks. Yeah, that fight. So if you have not seen the fight between Chun-Li and Vega from the Street Fighter movie, it's not the live action. I'm talking the animated version. Lord help us with the anime or the live action one. Though I still kind of like that movie. As bad as it is. But yeah, I go back and watch the fight. If you haven't seen that fight, it's awesome. Daniel says, I heard Sony will be making Paul Blart 3. Of course they will. Even though I think Kevin James is better than that. I mean, as long as they don't bring in, I've always had this fear that they're going to bring in Melissa McCarthy and she's going to be Paula Blart and she's going to be like his sister or something like that. And and I would hate to see Melissa McCarthy do that. Here's something I would love to see. I would love to see Melissa McCarthy and Kevin James in a serious movie, like a dead serious movie, just to see how. I bet they would both do great. Let's see. Bill says, I hope Paul Blart 3 is in space. Me too. Travis the Absurd says, Vega is who Carly Simon's song is about. Daniel says, well, it is called Paul Blart Sky Cop, so maybe we'll be in space. Or at least, I bet it's an airplane this time, and maybe they'll go to space in the fourth one. Let's see. Travis the Absurd says, I feel we need to add to the Paul Blart cinematic universe, Paul Blart multiversal. We need more Paul Blart in our lives. Scott Savage says, are you going to any Fathom events in October, November? I saw some mildly interesting ones like Ghostbusters, Alien, Jay and Silent Bob reboot, Godfather Part 2. I wanted to go to the Jay and Silent Bob reboot again. It fell on a week. They always put it on a week I can't go. Because I wanted to go see that one. Because I wanted to see how they continued the Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I'll just have to see that when it comes out on video. But man, that's the one I wanted to go to. I haven't looked at Fathom for a bit, other than when I was looking for tickets for 3 from Hell. But I wanted to see Jay and Silent Bob, but I can't, unfortunately. Paul says, hope to have heard your review of Downton Abbey. You're not going to. I've never seen the show. Now, if I find out that you don't have to have seen the show to see the movie, which I highly doubt, then I'll go see it. But I don't know anything about it, so I can't really review it. I'd go in there and be like, I have no idea who these people are. Rob says, I totally agree that when the Street Fighter anime movie started playing Dim Bones, I was 1,000% it. Yeah, anytime, you had Ken driving his car and he's listening to Alice in Chains, and I think they played Alice in Chains at the end, and it was, yeah, I love that movie. I still dig that movie. Bryce says, Paul Blart 3. Paul Blart finds himself in over his head when he's made head of security in the world's largest mall built in Dubai, starring Rob Schneider as his era, of course. His era partner rated PG-13. They can do it. Yeah, that second Paul Blart movie was so bad. But yeah, God, I can't. I'm not surprised. But why? Kevin James is better than that. I know he just hasn't got a chance to do it yet. He was in that MMA movie. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but he was good in that, and I would love to see him do more stuff like that. Um, Paul Green says, Fist of the North Star is a great anime series. I saw like the first whatever movie of Fist of the North Star. I did enjoy that. I always thought that was kind of cool whenever the guy was, what was it, the building was falling on him and he was kind of walking through it. I thought that's what I remember from that. And I remember him like punching or kicking really fast or something. It's been a long time since I've seen that one. Desiree says, I don't know anyone who's seen Downton Abbey. If we didn't carry the show at work, I'd assume it wasn't a real show. Hey, apparently it was kicking everything else's butt at the theaters. And I'm not really surprised. I know the show has a big following, but again, I've never seen it. So I just can't. I just know I'd go in there and I wouldn't understand anything. That would be my problem with seeing that, is that I wouldn't understand anything. And I'd be like, where am I? Where am I? Bill says Paul Blart Time Cop, of course. No, that's the 5th movie. Let's see. Daniel says Pixel's the only movie to have my Olaf and Qbert ship fanfic. God. Yeah, that movie is weird. The ending of that movie is weird. It's like, I've become the girl, and now we have Qbert babies. So dumb. Let's see. And Daniel says Paul Blart Theater Cop. Travis says Fist of the Paul Blart. Let's see. And Bryce says Elfen Lied is an anime to watch if you want to ruin yourself. If you want to question your existence, it would be Higurashi when the cicadas cry. All right, guys. Go ahead and get your last comment. Excuse me, I can't talk anymore. Your last comments in. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down for the night, I think. But anyway. Travis says, be nice to Gino. Hey, we try to be cool here. That's all we try to do here is be cool. Just like a bunch of Fonzies. We like to be cool. But yeah, man, we just try to have a good time here. Sorry, I'm a little tired, guys. Rob says, someone mentioned Fathom Events, and it made me think to say, just saw 25th anniversary of Shawshank 2 days ago, and yep, it's still the best movie. That is a fantastic movie. I still think it's crazy that that movie was like panned when it first came out. Now a lot of critics are going back on their word. It's like, well, we just didn't understand it. No, you just wanted to rip into it. And then I can't remember what won that year, but it shouldn't have. But even though, again, I don't really follow the Oscars or whatever. Let's see. Ooh, Desiree got held for another review. Hang on one second. Desiree says, naughty Desiree. Desiree says, want something dumb, surreal, and fun in your anime, watch Cromartie High School. Normal dude ends up in a school of delinquents. There's a robot and a guy who's possibly Freddie Mercury. Of course. That I would love to see an anime Freddie Mercury. That would be awesome. And okay, Daniel says, have you seen the trailer for Countdown? Yeah, it looks like a paint by numbers horror movie. I didn't think too much of it when I saw it. It just, it didn't do anything for me. Like, oh, it's gonna be a thing. And Rob reminds everyone again that later everyone's South Park's on. Oh, he's gonna go watch South Park. Yeah, it's 9:00. So if you're gonna go watch South Park, we'll let everyone go watch South Park. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the Low Budget Livestream. Sorry again for the late start. Just stuff was not working. Hope you guys had a great time. I had a great time. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm tired and I'm going to go to bed. See you later.